Hi guys, Chuck here, back in Planet Crafter. Now, this time it seems to happen every time, before I hit record. But I just unlocked a new blueprint. And it is for the T4 drill. And as you can see, it takes a lot of stuff to build that. 3 osmium and 6 super alloys. So we're going to see if we have some more super alloy in these storages in here. I need 2 more. I want to build that drill. I've kind of stored a lot of the loot from our last expedition. And I got 2 more, not enough to make 2 of them. I think it was 3 osmium as well. So we're going to go over here and put down one of these drills, the T4. Now, another thing about this, you don't have to build everything like right here, like where your base is. It just makes it simpler, but you can build it anywhere on the planet and you get the benefit from it. So even like power stuff, which I find really funny. So this is some pretty good future tech that you don't have to run wires anywhere. Kind of wish it was like that now. Imagine just being able to put power generation stuff anywhere. And look, we have flowers. Also, there was a new chip I believe we unlocked the last time around, and I would like to build that. And I don't know if that's here. Blueprint. T2 blueprint printing allows us to pin more blueprints. We need a methane cartridge for that. Allows map to be displayed from anywhere. Do I not have that already? Let's... Yeah, I already got that. Now, mining speed. I thought we had unlocked. Yeah, construction menu filter. I need a super alloy, a magnesium, and a silicon. That's what I want. All right, let's go build that. And I'll show you what that does. It's really, really kind of nice. All right, now let's equip that. That's our last slot available over here. And I believe we had the T2 deconstruction chip. So let's look at that. And you'll be able to see some really cool stuff with that. That might be right there. And I need a methane cartridge and a zeolite. So we have 1 zeolite. So what we need to see about is biomass screens unlocked. So we got another screen we can hang up in here somewhere. And I'm not going to worry about that too much right now because down the road we're going to get an even larger building to unlock, and then this whole base is going to be completely revamped at that point. And we'll have plenty of room for screens and all sorts of things. You'll see that. It'll be pretty nice. So we need a methane cartridge, and that means we need to get this guy built. No, that's a flower spreader. Where did gas extractor go? There it is. We need 2 zeolite, 3 super alloys, and an iridium rod. So we need more zeolite. And I don't think I've picked up any recently. So let's empty out. I got one here. And do I have any here? No. Well, that is somewhat annoying. I've only got one. And I need... What do we have here? Those are algae, not methane cartridges. So we don't have any. I will just dump that back in there. I will re-equip that. Now I'm going to see if I got a bigger exoskeleton I can unlock. We're going to dump all this excess titanium and whatnot back where it goes, and this aluminum. Right before I started recording, I had intended to go out and build another heater, and so I was gathering resources for that, and then right before I hit record, the T4 heater popped up, and I thought, well, we'll just build that instead. Well, let's dump this iron here. Let's go grab some water bottles. Now you see this thing is producing water faster than we can drink it now, which is pretty handy. And eventually there's an upgrade you get that lets you just drink out of the lakes. And then you really don't need to carry water around with you at that point. What we do need is some more oxygen, unless we just take the car. Because I'd really like to get some zeolite. And let's just make... Wow. I don't believe I'm out of cobalt. I don't think I left any inventory in the car, did I? Let's go check it out and make sure. Oh, I left a lot of stuff in the car. Look at that. A lot of super alloys. And a lot of obsidian. I think we're going to go over here and store a bunch of this stuff. I could build another heater. Another drill, I mean. But I'm going to hold off on that for now. Alright. Because that super alloy is needed for so many things. Hydration level low. Okay, I got you. We're going to get some oxygen bottles. At least a couple of them. And I need some more cobalt. I remember early in the game, like, you walk around up here when everything was just kind of red and desolate looking. And cobalt was just lying everywhere. So, alright, let's go in here. There is a location where you can find zeolite like crazy. And the last we checked, we're still waiting for the ice to melt. Alright, that's it for that. Let's see if we got a bigger exoskeleton. Let's see, T2 exoskeleton. I never have built all these agility boots, and I think I'm going to go ahead and build those. I don't even know if I have any of them. Let's see what I have equipped. I have the T2 equipped and the T2 jetpack. So I can get the T3 with 2 more super alloys and an explosive powder, and I know I've got that. I just don't know where I put it. There it is. And I know we got plenty of super alloys now. Let's grab a couple of those. Let's make that other agility boots, so that'll help us move around a little quicker. Alright, now those should be equipped automatically. You know, when this game first came out, every time you built stuff, it just went to your inventory and then you had to equip it. And it got kind of annoying. Now, let's see what we have here. We got a T3 jetpack. So I need more explosive powder. Alright, I wonder... Let's see... I don't know which backpack I have equipped. I have the T5. Alright. So, can't go any bigger on a backpack, but we can go... Let's see... Yeah, I need another explosive powder, 2 osmiums, another super alloy. I don't think... Well, I do have an explosive powder here. Let's see. But I think I needed 2 explosive powder, didn't I? Yeah, I need 1 more. So let's see if that's something we can make right now. Yeah, 2 sulfurs and an iridium. Yeah, I can make that pretty easy. Alright. This should just get us around even faster. Let's see. Alright, back over here. T3 jetpack. Alright, now we're really rolling. Now let's see about that exoskeleton. I don't think I can go any bigger than that yet. Yeah, let's it's getting dark. Anyway, we'll go up there anyway. It's a cave. Anyway, we got our flashlight. We can always flip that on when we get up there. Or torch for my friends across the pond way. Which is, you know, something you might find this amusing. So when I got to college and they started, you know, as happens when you get into college, you start getting exposed to things outside. Ah, darn it, still not melted. So you start getting exposed to more than your little sheltered life that you lived beforehand. And I started, you know, having classmates from other countries. And me just being from here in the U.S. And when I heard people talk about a torch, I pictured, you know, a wooden stick with a flame on top, you know, something on fire. And I always thought that kind of funny when a guy talked about putting, you know, D-cell batteries in his torch. And it was an eye-opener. You know, one of those, we think of culture shock as being like big, you know, cultural shifts or big differences, but sometimes it's little things like just different use of language. So, we are really wanting some zeolite. And I still can't get into that cave. And you got tons of it up there. But it's not there. But you get to a certain point. I mean, there's a reason we did find some already. Now, I gotta dump a lot of junk in storage over here. this miscellaneous stuff here. Another explosive powder. I guess I didn't really need to make, or I must have had that in the car. Now you see this seed here. Yeah, that's a really good tree seed for when we get tree spreaders. So we're going to want to collect all those we can now, because we get the tree spreaders. And you know what I said about not having to put stuff right at your base? You can go anywhere on the map and put this stuff down. In fact, you don't want to put the tree spreaders close to your base anyway, because it gets quite dicey when you start having, you know, trees sprouting up all over, like all around your entrance, and you can't get in or out. And all right, I think we're going to empty the car. Come on. I don't know why sometimes I hit the jetpack and then it just kind of stops. Now, it might be, like I said, I am playing on controller. And sometimes I suspect, well, I need to, let's go grab a couple more pieces of food just in case I stay out longer than I was planning. So we're going... All right. We're wanting to hunt down some zeolite. Now, you get to a certain point where it just starts popping up everywhere. Like you'll see little bits of it just lying around on the ground. And so that's kind of what we're hoping for. And maybe they'll find another entrance to that cave that's frozen from the end I know how to get to. I need to upgrade the car because right now this is still faster. Jetpacking around is quicker than using the car. But the car has all that nice extra inventory available. Alright, that's just the other entrance to that osmium cave. So like I said, there is that whole cave of zeolite, and you can pick up tons of it off the ground, and then when we get the higher extractors, you can put an extractor in there and just collect it all you want. Now I think we've been there already, but there is a cave that opens up in the back of this, you know, thing that looks like a waterfall. And I think we've been back here already. We got us a blue crate back here, and that's it. Anytime you have like a hidden cave like this, I think developers are obligated to put like some really crazy good loot in there. So they're saying, guess what? You found a hidden cave, but you know, by the way, we're not going to give you much. It kind of bums out. Alright, we're just going to venture around because that stuff will start populating the ground at a certain point. And I think we're getting about to that point where we should start seeing, you know, zeolite just, well, I need some oxygen. And I didn't bring too many, and I realized I got the car in my inventory and I could have just dropped it and got in. I shouldn't have to use those bottles when I'm out here. No, I don't have that warden key with me. There's another. We'll have to cover that when we have the key. If you go in this cave where we found the super alloy, there's another room back there you can unlock with the warden key. And you can go in and get another one and discover more of the lore. Like I said, to unlock all the possible endgame scenarios, you have to do all that content. You know what? I think we've been in here before. Yeah. So I thought we could get in there, and I think we've been in here before anyway. Yeah, we got that out of there already. Oh, some T3 heaters we can deconstruct. You know, it gives us iridium rods, aluminum, titanium, and silicon, which we don't really need any of that. We got plenty of that stuff. So, right. Let's get the car out. Well, let's just hop in. All right. Free air. And another icy area that we're waiting to get into. All right, look what we found. I think this is one of the new biomes that was being talked about when 2.0 came out. So let's hop out, put the car back in inventory, and let's explore here. I'm surprised I'm just now finding this area. So we might have all sorts of interesting things over here in these ruins. Let's give this place a thorough... Wow, what do we have down here? Blue crates under the water. And nothing that we can't get elsewhere. It's like a regular Atlantis. down here, and I bet if we could have come here when it was still dry, but it's not like it would have been any easier. All right, it's telling us we need to eat. All right, let's eat. All right, we can deconstruct the solar panel if we want, but there's no point. And also, there's no difference. I know it's just psychological because I've played Subnautica so many times. Between being underwater and being out of the water in here, because your oxygen depletes the same level either way. Okay, it looks like a doorway, but it's not a doorway. What a bummer. So I'm trying to see if there's a way to get up here, and there is. Still gonna grab all this super alloy when we see it. And we're gonna do this trick again. Hop in. See if we can drive across here. I don't think so. It's so much easier just to fly around here. Well, we got another chip. And a fertilizer. So maybe we'll find a few goodies here. Another 2 alloys. You know, it's funny, at this stage of the game, I grab those things every time I can spot them. And we'll get to a point where we'll just get so many of them, you won't even think about it. We got a storm coming. Well, let's head in here and see what else these ancient people left behind for us. Well, another gold chest. So we got another one of these gold effigies, which don't do any bit of good, and a pressure multiplier fuse. Golden seed is always good. It's the best multiplier you can get. But it appears that we've darn near filled the inventory, and we haven't got what we came out to get. And that was some zeolite. We did discover this new area. And it looks like there's a wreck over there. So let's go check that out. See if we can get in there. There's a lot of new stuff over here. So Stop in and get a breather. I think we might have to just start using the car's inventory now. We can't continue carrying it around with us like that. All right, let me get another breather. Let's see if there's a way in this wreck. Well, it looks like there is if we can get... Alright. That we have enough oxygen bottles to survive in here for a while. Alright, plenty more aluminum. Okay, we are back. I got interrupted there with a call that I had to take. So we're going to resume our little exploration here. I'm trying to climb this ladder. There we go. Maneuvering around in here is kind of tricky. Gotta jump over on. Well, we got another chip. Maybe this will be a pretty productive trip after all. Even if I don't... Oh, look what we found. We found one. All right. Now, get more of those suits. I guess we'll take them. When we get the larger habitat buildings, we're gonna... build those things. Yeah, you find it funny that here we are grabbing all these rocket engines when we can, but you get to a point where you can make them, and you can make more of them than you'll ever need. Let's see. I got what? One left? One oxygen left, and that's it. Oh, this is where we just were. Okay. Okay, this is just a big old circle, I guess. Alright, let's go back down. Figure out how to get out of here now. Is there anything this way? More debris. I'm gonna have to drop a lot of iron here. Let's see, let's just go ahead and, well, we'll put it in this crate here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just grab the alloy. And anything down here? There is all sorts of stuff down here. More of these fuses. Another chip. Alright, these fuses, you'll see when we get the trade rockets opened up, they are worth an absolute boatload of money. Now, we're going to have to get out of here. Because I'm about out of oxygen. So, where's the car? There is our oxygen. That was a little close. Now, could go back in there and try to find more stuff. Let's, you know, just wondering. I mean, that's a pretty darn good wreck. Now, let's head over here. And let's see, another fuse. I really wanted the zeolite. To make those, some of those upgrades. But we're still not seeing any. Let's get a breather here. Let's go back in this wreck and see what we can see. Gotta be careful, I only got one oxygen can left. There's another crate. Check that out. All right. Now, so we were just there, weren't we? We were just down here. And another chip. I think we want to get back and decode these chips. So here is why. I'm just going to go and eat that. Here is why we want that T2 deconstruction chips. We can deconstruct these. But we need the zeolite to build it. And I think we just found one zeolite, so we might be able to build that, you know, right now. Or pretty darn soon. More crates. We'll take the osmium, and I don't think we'll take any of that. I should probably mark this spot on the map for future reference. So it's not one of those places to put a energy core in. See, when we have those, you deposit that there. So those, and we're getting pretty close to that stage of gameplay now, where we're going to get the trade rockets open. And that's when... Oh, great. How do I get out of here? Maybe it's this way. Alright. Oxygen level low. Yeah, we're working on it. Guess we're going to have to use that bottle, and I didn't want to. So now we have to rely on the car. We can't store. We can't pick the car up. So we have to drive it or jetpack back to base and then recall the car. But we're going to drive it back just in case I can spot what we're looking for. A couple more zeolite on the way would be really nice. And I'm not sure what this whole area is here. This is, like I said, this is all that new biome which we're just now discovering. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a save right here, just in case I get up here and, like, you know, run out of oxygen, something crazy like that. I want to see if there's anything worth exploring in this area. Looks like it's just for looks. It's not actually anything here. Kind of interesting looking area though. I'll see where we are in the map. We're kind of over here on the edge. It doesn't look like there's anything here. Alright, so let's... Whoa. How did I jump down there? I didn't want to do that. So we're going to have to drive this car back. Be on the lookout for anything else that looks mildly interesting on the way. Well, I don't think we can get through that way. I have to try to remember how we got down here to start with. I think it was over this way, so we might have to just drive the car in the water. We have to. This is how we got down here. So we'll go back up this way. We will make our way back to the base, and then we're going to decode those chips. And we did get that one zeolite, so maybe that'll be able to use that for something. And go from there. Maybe we'll find another one on the way. Because we're not far from the point when they're going to start just showing up everywhere. You'll find them spouting out of the ground. Let's just go down the... All right. Hydration level low. We should be able to drive the car right through the iridium cave. No, actually, we don't need to drive through that way. We can cut out over here. Yeah, this will work. So that new biome really isn't that far away. It's a new wreck, so we'll be able to get more of those deconstructed electronics. So it seems like this happens a lot as I set out to obtain a certain item. And we run all over the map, never find what we were looking for, end up finding something else. So that's the fun thing about this game in a way. Is, yeah, it's been out for a few years. And it's a small development team. It's not a big, AAA studio and all that. Yet they still keep adding. Now, somehow I have an easier time parking this car in first person than I do in third person. So, hop out. What do we got here? Bunch more good stuff. We're going to get what we need right now. And that's the chip and maybe these super alloys, because I can build more heaters with those. Got a lot of rocket engines too. So that's going to be rather nice when we want to launch some rockets, which we're probably going to do. But I don't think I will do it on this episode, maybe. For right now, I want to decode these chips and check our status and see if we're getting close to some more unlocks. Well, we got 4 chips. Let's decode. Aquatic life wall. I mean, that's okay. Interior wall. I mean, that's nice when you get to bigger buildings. You can kind of design your base a little differently. Drone visualization rocket will be nice once we have drones. And vehicle inventory increase. And none of those are what I was hoping for. But now, this is what I was saying, we equipped that chip earlier, and now watch this. when we look at our build or construction menu, it only shows you the highest tier of each item. So it's not going to show us, you know, all the smaller tiers of things. Like if you go to the drill, you only see the T4. That's the only one you're going to see. So that's not as cluttered on the construction screen now. That's why that was a big deal. We still need another zeolite for the gas extractor, because I think we picked up one on that last trip, and I think I probably left it in the car's inventory. So anyway, we got a lot to work on still, and we're going to do that next time around. So for now, we're going to call it a day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.